Hello everyone, Link here, back with the last, or possibly last game of all of TheNydus this week. I decided to stop to co-cast, but the co-cast was a bit of a mess, and I don't know why, but this guy, okay, this guy decided to stop streaming, and or to not chat with me anymore, and at least I have my answer why. It's because he is playing in this last game. Let me adjust my sound if I can, because I actually had to turn it down because for some reason his mic was ridiculously quiet. And I had to turn him up all the way and turn StarCraft sound down completely, and even then I could barely hear it. This is not the map. I thought he said Lotus. Okay. Yeah, this is Lotus. I think he mixed up the map and the map name. That can happen. Now, something I didn't actually notice until I looked at the schedule is that this is the second to last week, and so far we have one win and one walkover. So I think even if we win this one and win the last week, I don't think we have any chance to make it to the quarterfinals, to be like in the next round, I guess, or next stage or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, we've gotten close quite a few times. Even like last time, like Gale, our team failed pretty bad, but Gale nearly all killed them. He was really the only one doing any work. To be fair, though, I don't think the rest of them played too bad though. Like Trumpet, for example, he died to a Bane Bust horribly, but it was because he didn't see the Bane Bust until the very second it was as ramp, and the force field was just a little too late. Looks like we're about to see another proxy pylon. Kevin loves these proxy pylons of his. Back to a PVT, what it started with, and looks like what it might end on. Bit of a weird rally. And yeah, he's gonna build a Nexus now. I don't know why he would look over. Oh, I know what happened. People aren't used to this map layout. They're not used to this being the spawn positions. So he was like, "Oh, my opponent's over here." Oh, wait, what? Yeah, to avoid that, just look on the minimap. Like you can clearly tell that this isn't a main base, and this definitely isn't a mirror of your base. I would love to see a gas block here if he's just gonna hide the probe instead, but he's rallied his Reaper, so it looks like he's paid attention to that probe. He's not gonna let it leave. Standard so far, nothing out of the ordinary. Interesting factory position. It's kind of odd. Single Marine after the Reaper, and then add-on cancelled. So I didn't have enough time to see what add-on it was make. I think it was Reactor though. Another barracks here. Twilight, no additional gateways yet. And he does have a second base, so maybe a big two base, a depth push possibly. Blink is something I think can be utilized, but hasn't. But most people don't do, and also I don't think it's that good on this map. It is gonna be blink though. Alrighty. Can you? Actually, you might. With high ground vision, you might be able to blink up in here. But does he have high ground vision? That's the question. He needs like a Robo or a Stargate or something along those lines because Mothership Core isn't in the game anymore. Mothership Core basically anytime you wanted to go for any sort of blink all in, you would always have high ground vision because of the Mothership Core. Cyclone, Starport getting a tech lab now in the second barracks. He gets a full scout out and knows something's making. But blink is not that normal in the current meta, at least at pro level. Maybe not so much at diamond. He's not controlling the stalker that well, so he's going to lose a probe. The stalkers are everywhere except in a position to deal with that Reaper. Getting stim now. Starport Tech Lab. So we're gonna see a Raven here. He's got two nope, only one Cyclone. It would be weird for him to do a Raven, like a 2-base Raven push on this map without siege tanks. And also, he swapped over without making anything. He's got stim, he's making an extra barracks. Where? What is with these weird building placements? Ooh, very quick third base on gold. And actually, that third base, I just realized that third base is actually very easy to defend, with the one exception being this. So actually, if you put like, oh wait, you can't even put a building here to scout. So yeah, this, because if you put your army just right here, like in this area and here, you can have full concave and you can defend third and natural. That's probably the easiest. That's like super easy to defend the third. It's only here that's vulnerable, so you really have to take advantage of that. But you're not gonna be able to put your whole army here, so you're gonna have to do like double pronged. Gonna send an observer out, scouts the wall off. Not gonna scout any further, but really should have the observer in observer mode if you're going to not scout any further, as it gives you twice the amount of vision and is equally as hard to see. In my opinion, I actually think it's slightly harder to see when it's like this than when it's like this, because in the back you can see kind of little circle movement. But Raven's going to clear that out. Good chunk of buyout at home. Stim. No other upgrades, though. Getting combat shields and 1-1 about to finish at the same time. Not many gateway units, actually, and actually spreading them out a ton. It's going to be a big frontal push. And this is something I kind of dislike, is when people separate their gateway units, but they don't actually have that good like observer spread. Like he's got this for drops, but then if you're gonna have this observer here for drops, why have just 2 stalkers here? Especially since 2 stalkers are not gonna shut down drops. They're gonna drop on you. Now he's gonna spread out. Ooh, he's gonna get pulled back. And now, okay, yeah, he's grouping up with his gateway units. He's got blink, but he needs that immortal. He needs to bring that guy down. He's stimmed to once, and he only has 1 medevac, and 1 medevac is practically no medevac. I think, yeah, with Immortal coming behind, I think he's good. Yeah. Target Fire the Raven wasn't the smartest idea. It forced an engagement out of him. I would have felt better if he, yeah, Target Fire the medevac, because that just makes it so he basically just can't stim again. He's going to drop, but only 3 units in this drop. At that point, you don't even need anti-air. Just Celis is going to clean that up. So Kevin, I think, is probably in a better overall position. Neither player has a third base. Okay, no, his is about to finish. Oh, okay, I'm stupid. This third base has been finished, and this just finished in the main base and is starting to float over to this base. Okay, question. Why would you float your CC over to this base and make the CC so far back? I think it's largely due to the fact that he's building all of his buildings here for some reason. Like, why wouldn't build this here and then build CC here, and then like the float time is like 20 seconds less? He's on 3 barracks and just now getting extra. Getting second eBay and armory, so coming into the mid game here, nothing really but gateway units here. We got double forge, we got Robo making 1 immortal at a time. No Twilight, no Robo yet. Robo Bay specifically. Sense Tower kind of in the middle of nowhere, right in front of his base. This is kind of, I think, arguable. I think there's some merit to it because it gives you kind of the best overall sensor tower range you want. However, it just makes it so much more vulnerable. In this case, I think it's okay because he's rallying to it. Having a bit of a siegeling problem, though, is overmining his bases. Not transferring them, which is the problem. He actually only has 1 medevac. Oh, this is a problem. He has 1 medevac and he's going straight into Liberators. That's a big mistake. Oh, he's got another back here and hasn't actually sent anything to deal with it. How many workers that kill? Oh, that killed a lot. That's not good. Up and yeah, this is a bit of a problem with charge losses. Can't just stay moving and ignore them, because they'll walk into their death if you're not paying attention. Not often, but only when there's like buildings in front or other things in front. Double Liberator here. I just realized that he's making double libs at a time, but not using any of them defensively, using them purely for harassment. And libs actually aren't that good like mid-game harassment. Luckily, Kevin's put his units in a very bad spot, just out in the middle of nowhere, defending nothing and attacking nothing. Got a few stalkers here. Doesn't see the libs yet. But I think so far the biggest problem with that he's got is that it's almost a 10-minute mark with one robo facility and and nothing else in that regard really. Also, fighting with stalkers in the lib zone. Not kiting with the stalkers. He could be shooting, moving, shooting, and moving, and getting a much better trade here. Also, I would love to see a blink up on the high ground to target the medevac. Manages to get that, so not that comfortable of a trade, but a trade nonetheless. That's not too bad in his favor. Oh boy. Okay, blink on the other side. Thankfully, he's using libs for harassment, so he's got pretty much just bio and Widowmines, and Widowmines don't have drilling claws at the 10-minute mark. So yeah, switching into Widowmines is not a good idea, because Widowmines without drilling claws are actually pretty useless, especially with an observer here. Doesn't have many charge loss though, which is actually good here, because he's basically wasting all of his charge loss to sacrifice. And the biggest mistake Kevin's making right now is not shooting and moving, though. He's just standing and fighting and letting the bio, which he knows is more powerful than him, just kind of fight him head on. And this is going to be a win for Daily Life, and it looks like we're going to go to the final game here. Yeah, and I think the biggest mistake this game was just Kevin not going into any real mid-game tech. He was making one immortal at a time, and that was it. And I mean, I've seen that, we see that, kind of in the transition of early to mid-game. So he needed to at least make a second robo if he was going to go immortals, because for pretty much the whole game he was on just gateway units, and even though he had charge, he had blink, he also wasn't defending too well. So close game kind of until the end there. I think by that time you're going to have way more than just a few immortals. You're going to have like, Storm and like 10, maybe not 10, but like maybe 6 High Templar, or like 4 Colossus, or even just like 5 Disruptors would have helped there, especially because his units were very clumped. It would have been hard to spread that many units that quickly against a bunch of Disruptors. So that'll be it for the second to last game. And now we're going to go into the final games, tied 3-3, Daily Life Esports versus FxB. I'll see you guys in the next part.